Well, 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 look what we have here. Looks like another Boston Harbor fan. This is the 52-inch white model with the bull light kit. Very similar in appearance to what I have now, just with a different light kit. Now, this ceiling fan right here, this with the bull light kit, I don't think this looks very 90s. I mean, maybe I would say oldest looking would be late 90s because in the late 90s, that's when the bull light kits were starting to make an appearance. And they were very popular well into the 2010s. Or, sorry, the 2000s and the 2010s. And now you hardly ever see them because now everything nowadays is just low profile DEL. And this fan very much reminds me of a fan Jordan Yu picked up. I think it was a curbed Monte Carlo. It's a very similar appearance to this with the bull light kit and the white builder fan style. I mean, from what he said in the video of him testing it, it sounds like that fan wasn't particularly good performance because it was like 4,500 CFM. This fan here claims to be worse than that, but I tend to think the CFM rating is going to be bogus. It says 2,942 CFM, which is very pitiful for a 52-inch fan, but I'd be willing to bet that's very bogus. And let's go ahead and get into the unboxing. Or I think we could actually make it better. The unboxing. That is much better. Okay, let's go ahead and open this up. Now, this was from a non-reputable website, or seller, I should say. There's a bunch of extra tape on this thing, so I don't know if this is going to be brand new. I'm having a little bit of a hunch that maybe this has been opened at one point. Shouldn't be. I see a day code of January of 2026, so it should be brand new. But sometimes things aren't the way they should be. Okay, that side is open pretty well. That side is opened. There we go. And I'll bring this closer to the camera. Okay, here's the blades. Very nice bleached oak. And nice white. Not too bad looking for something sold today. I think this is under manufacturer still. Here is the manual. Here's the switch cap, in case you want to use it without the light kit. Here's the canopy. Here's the two Longstar DEL bulbs, which you know how these perform. They're not my favorite color temperature, but they don't flicker, so I do use them. Here's the light kit. That doesn't look too bad for something made today. I know Jordan Yu isn't particularly fond of the full light kits, but I kind of like them because they were around everywhere when I was a kid. Here's the 5 blade brackets. Nicely bubble wrapped. Here's the light shade. Wow, this looks very nice. It's like, it's not any bowl like it. This is a very nice style one. There's a nice style right here. There's like ribbing. There's 2 bands of it too. This looks very nice, high end. I don't know how Jordan Yu is gonna feel about it, but I personally like that shade. Although I know that Jordan Yu doesn't like those bowl light kits because they tend to block a lot of light. He already did prove it. Here's the hardware pack. It says pull chains, the vibrating foam things, wire connectors, and the blade balancing kit. What a waste. People don't even use those. Here's the down rod. Not too bad. Oh dear, this ball looks kind of bent. Look at that closer. I'm gonna have to remove this from the packaging anyway when I install this. Huh. It just seemed to me it was a little out of shape. Okay, well, I guess that's still okay. Here's the mounting bracket. Here's the motor. Pretty nice looking motor. Got some weight to it, not too bad. I found a date here. This is from February of 2025, so this is still in production. Bearing should be good on this, no question. Oh, I see something so perfect. There is this stupid silver box in here. Or, we'll make it better. Stupid silver box. But that's okay, we can just cut that out. We're gonna cut that out before we even install that. Alright, let's get installing. Of course, it wouldn't be a good ceiling fan if we don't take this stupid thing out. Of course, this would not be a good ceiling fan if we don't take this stupid thing out. There. Time to get rid of this thing. Now that we got rid of that stupid wattage limiter, let's go ahead and assemble the rest of the fan. So it looks like this doesn't have a switch cap attached already to this, which I totally understand. You're trying to save material. This also means that we have some assembly to do, which we're gonna have to use the switch cap. And I'm gonna get this thing out of here. There we go. Now we got that thing out. I'm gonna put it in there just so we don't lose it. I might want to connect this without the light eventually, or use a different light kit. Though this light kit looks very nice. Alright, that's good enough. I don't want to mark the switch housing because these switch housings, unless you can afford another one, which I can't, are irreplaceable, so you've got to be very careful with these. And then we have this bolt connect. Hope it's showing okay on the video. I think that's good enough. And I just realized we need to connect these wires. So we got to get this hardware bag out. What a waste. I'm going to use these wire nuts to reconnect the wires we just cut. The white we're just going to cap off, and then these two we got to strip out some wire. Probably should use wire strippers to do this job, but I have these scissors, so we may as well use them. Here we go. All right. Then we got to get this. Oh, that just broke. Well, I wasn't going to use that for anything, so that's fine. We got to connect these. Very simple. I'm just noticing about this light kit. There's no this is just cheap plastic here for the sockets. I'm not exactly a fan of that. Sometimes I find that plastic is just fine in this application, but that kind of makes me a little bit on the nervous side because I've had a light kit melt before using a what you call it, a halogen bulb, and that just completely ruined the shade. So I'm kind of wary about these plastic light kits. Okay. Don't worry, it's not going to make that noise while it's running. Yeah. Sorry guys, I had got interrupted, so back in business. But we almost got done with this light kit anyway, so not a big deal. Then we're going to remove these screws now just so it's more convenient to the install. This is in fact a 4.5 motor. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but this is in fact a 4.5 motor, which that's another reason to believe of, or another reason to be reminded of that one Monte Carlo fan that Jordan Yu tested about a month ago. About a month or two ago, I remember he picked it up. And in one of his shorts videos, which I normally don't view shorts because I think it's brain rot, but one of Jordan Yu's more shorter videos that he did, I remember he took the light kit apart to replace the light switch, and he pulled down the switch and he was like, you know what this is? This is a wattage limiter. Gotta take that out as well. And then he pulls the chain and says, busted light switch. And a burnt out incandescent bulb. I hope this doesn't have any burnt out incandescent bulbs. Although this came with DEL, so it's not going to have that no matter what. And I'll just keep the screws somewhere where they're not going to get lost. I'll do them on my nightstand like everything else. Okay. Okay. Now we gotta get this mess here with the down rod. Okay. And now we gotta get the canopy installed and all that fun stuff. Okay. I'm gonna slip this through the canopy. I remember this safety cable here was a bit of a pain, so I'm gonna do that first. Not that we're gonna use the safety cable, but I don't like cutting stuff, so I'm gonna do it that way. Okay, well, oh, that's even better. All three wires came very easily. That normally doesn't happen. And another thing worth noting, that doesn't usually happen to Jordan Yu either. I've seen in his ceiling fan installation videos that he has kind of a harder time getting the wires to thread through, and I, like very many people out there who collect fans, I very wonder why it's so difficult to do that. Because it's just wires and a smooth surface rod. Alright. Hitch pin. And then we gotta tighten the screws on the down rod. There we go. That's assembled. Now let's see what these blades look like out of the plastic. I'm gonna go with the oak. It just makes the fan look a little bit more interesting. We have the irons. Yeah, we're gonna go with the oak. I need to find where the... Is that showing okay? Yeah, that's showing okay on the video. Very convenient. The washers are already in the screws. One blade made. Just gonna make sure that's gonna be okay for the video. It is. Better remove this thing out of the way, just so it doesn't cut stuff. Mattresses are expensive. I have tested quite a few of these Boston Harbor fans. They are all very good performance for the price point too. Like, this fan right here costed me about $79, I think. It's either 78 or 79. I'm gonna have to look on the computer to make sure. But it was one of those two numbers. And for some reason, I don't know why, but my computer did say that I should buy it from the app and not just through the computer. So meaning I actually did get a $5 coupon with the purchase. So I actually just paid $73 for this thing. So pretty good price for one of these. I think just looking at it up close, I think this is already worth every penny, $73. In fact, I think it's worth more than that. I think it's safe to say this is at least worth $100. Which I think would still be an acceptable price for something like this. Okay. All looks pretty good. Now we're just gonna hang it on the ceiling. I never realized this came with dinner. Good news is I have a use case for this right now. Delicious. I'm gonna have dinner and then we're gonna hang the ceiling fan. Since we've already tested enough Boston Harbor fans and they were basically the same model just with a different finish and or different light kit, we're going to test this in a real world application. So I'm going to start off with the mounting bracket. And I'm trying to look for the screws for that thing. Here they are. Here's the screwdriver I was just using. And these are not really the correct screws, but this is the type of box that this fan has, so I'm going to use them because I'm not changing this box out. Plus, I have seen plenty of ceiling fans being held up by an octagon box. So this fan is going to be only installed here for maybe 12 hours, and then we're going to put the turn of the century Viente back up because my parents use this room, but they're out on a little adventure. I'm gonna have some fun here. I can already hear the comments box screaming, it's not correct, Again, I'm not changing this outlet box. All right. Now let's get the fan motor hanging. What? There we go. I thought it was just not going to hang for a sec. Alright, now we're going to wire up the fan. In this particular case, we just have a one switch circuit, so we're just going to connect it as if it was just a one, as if there's just one switch on the wall. This is a three-way switch, but the light and the fan control on the same switch, so there's only two wires coming out of the outlet box. I don't know if this is live or not, so I'm just gonna treat it like it's live because for all I know it is. My dad did the wiring in this house.
I don't know what he did in the 2000s when he wired this house. Hope he did everything correctly. Okay. That looks good. We're not going to hang the safety pin. The ceiling was not built correctly, but I don't want the whole thing to collapse down, so I'm just going to hang the canopy like that. Now we're going to get the blades installed. And I'm going to install it with 5 blades for now. Okay. Oh, that's great. The screw dropped. Thankfully, I picked it up. Okay. And light bulbs, we're just gonna put the incandescent bulbs that were in the Viente. All right. And now the light kit. Okay, so I've never hung up a light kit like this, but I think this is the same way the Hampton Bay Hawkins does. And okay. Something's not installed right here. Oh. It's this. Okay, that sounds like it would be the right way now. All right. Don't want to tighten this too much because you can crack the glass, and this is such a rare shade as well. Okay. Now we have this to hang up. This is just a decorative piece, so it doesn't have to be on crazy tight. And the pull chains. All right. Now I'm gonna get the tripod back so you can see the fan a little bit better. You can see the canopy and everything. Okay. Now let's see how this is. All right, so now we got this hung up. Let's go ahead and give this a test. Here's the light. That's actually not a bad light for something like this. Here's low. Actually, I'll just move this down a little bit. I'm gonna let it for run a little bit. I'm gonna go get a calculator. Pretty nice. A little bit of air. See if we can do a test on this. Go with about 137. So 13 I think is going to be the number. So 13 times 137 is 1781. Here's medium. It hums a little bit, but not too bad. See how medium is. Go with 315. 315 times 13 is 4,095 CFM. And now high. Now let's see how high it is. Go at 433, so 13 times 433 is 5,629 CFM. So I think this is a perfectly acceptable fan. This thing does move quite a bit of air, and it does not look hideous at all. I know that there's certain people in the fan community who don't like these lights. And I mean, rightfully so, because a lot of these lights in general have very poor designs with the pull chains where they get jammed. But this light kit is very well designed. There's actually a metal thing above this light, and that actually captures the pull chain, so you don't have to worry about it getting jammed. So this light kit is really a good design for something like this. Now, talking about price, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people in the comments box that say, "Oh, it's so expensive." Well, this thing I got from eBay, from a retailer, which was a very risky move. I paid $78 and change for this. Plus, from eBay, I don't know why eBay does this, but eBay sometimes does digital coupons when you buy from the app. So I really paid I paid 73 for this and change for this. So this I think is worth every penny. $73. This moves a lot of air. It's not ugly. It looks like it came straight out of the 90s or the early 2000s, and it's still in production to this day. I really like this thing. The blades are not stinking monochrome. It has rounded edges still. The light kit is still generally appealing. It's a bull light kit, which I know there's certain people in the fan community who don't like bull light kits. It's kind of a love it or hate it kind of thing. I personally like them for nostalgia reasons. But this light kit right here in particular, I really like that shade. It's very decorative. So I think this is worth every penny, $73. I'd even say it's worth every penny, $78. This thing runs well. This is a no-joke fan. It's not a Hunter Brookline. It's not anything from Casablanca. It's not in that territory. But this is a perfectly nice, acceptable fan for the price. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.